All right, guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, not here with Geeky Sparkles. She's out and about today. We're going to talk about the Lord of the Rings of Power boss, the Amazon studio head, getting fired over the failure of that show and also the James Bond debacle. So, very interesting. Things are definitely changing in Hollywood, and well, I don't know if you consider Amazon Studios. Hollywood is more of a tech company, but you know what I'm saying. You can only fail for so long once the money runs out. And this, Lord of the Rings was such a massive failure for Amazon. What is it, $1 billion to create a shitty fanfic that not a lot of people are watching? People are talking about for all the wrong reasons, but I am shocked it has made it to season 3. They have a season 3 coming up. Is it going to make it to all 5 seasons? I don't know. Who knows? But season 2, the viewership data was not good. Nobody talks about this show except to bag on it. So I have no idea why they're still doing it. They must have a commitment to it or something. But she's out the door. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, no woohoos. It wouldn't be appropriate. We just had this wonderful woman fired from her position. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Cosmic Book News has it. They got it from, I think, Deadline, and everybody's talking about it. Hollywood Reporter's talking about it. I'll go with Matt McGloin's article here. Amazon shakeup. Studio head fired over James Bond in the Rings of Power. All right, so Thursday afternoon had the big news that Jennifer Salke, head of Amazon's MGM Studios, had stepped down after 7 years. It's been claimed that it was her decision. It always is. It's been claimed that it was her decision, and she'll be moving on to producing. It's actually said that Amazon fired her, reportedly due to the recent James Bond deal and the failure of the Rings of Power. Christopher Nolan might have something to do with the decision. What? Amazon recently purchased the entire rights to James Bond, which I think is going to be a disaster. And Amy Pascal and David Heyman are going to be running things. So Amy Pascal is Sony. She was the Spider-Man boss, I think. And David Heyman was, I believe, in charge of Harry Potter. So, I mean, it could be worse, right? It could be worse. According to Deadline, that's what sealed Jennifer Salke's, Jennifer Salke's fate. Coming from more of a TV background, she reportedly clashed with Pascal Heyman and longtime Bond producer Barbara Broccoli. Under her leadership, Amazon did develop the Rings of Power, the Wheel of Time, which I guess is even going to get even gayer, I've heard. They're going to make it more gay. Reacher's okay. Jack Ryan's okay. The Boys is okay. Whatever. So there were some things it was very much a mixed bag, right? There are some things in there that are not bad. According to the source, Jennifer wasn't involved in the talks surrounding the James Bond deal. Yeah, that right there is your first indication you're fired. When they start having major meetings at the company and you are not involved in those meetings and that is your job, you guys start asking some questions, right? You start asking questions like, hey, I'm not going to be here very long, am I? Because I'm not involved in these discussions about this thing that's going to be a multi-year project, which means I'm not going to be on that project, right? And yeah, you can figure it out. Figure it out, Jennifer. It's reportedly cost another $1 billion on top of the previous deal worth $8.5 billion. Wow. Pascal and Heyman are said to have negotiated with former Warner Brothers executive Courtney Valenti, who've been working under Salke. Salke's role won't be replaced. Now Valenti is going to report directly to Amazon MGM Studios head Mike Hopkins. God, whatever. It's claimed that as a condition of signing on to oversee James Bond at Amazon, they requested that they report to Valenti and not to Salke. It's also said that Barbara Broccoli didn't get along with her. A recent Wall Street Journal report claimed Broccoli called Amazon effing idiots. So that was her. That was her they were talking about. Reportedly, when Amazon owner Jeff Bezos heard what Broccoli said, he ordered James Bond to be acquired at any cost, and he wanted Broccoli out. Reports claim that under Salke, Amazon wanted to take the James Bond franchise in an all-new direction with a... Wait, what? With a female lead and spin-offs featuring diverse characters in the Marvel-style cinematic universe, rumors say that Jeff Bezos pushed back, saying a company-wide memo stating that James Bond will remain British and male. Didn't say white, didn't say straight, just British and male. She got was leaving the TARDIS to work for MI6. Rings of Power phase. Okay. So Rings of Power is cited as a factor as the most expensive TV show in history. And it doesn't look like it, does it? The most expensive TV show in history. How? This looks like a screenshot from Xena. I mean, I'm just saying. It's been reported that the series has lost a substantial portion of its TV viewership. Yes. Can we say that now? Can we say that without being called Nazis? Because, you know, the Nazis were making up stories about what a failure the Rings of Power, which is just a bad Tolkien fanfic, what a failure it is. Not even a Tolkien fanfic, because you got to be a fan of the fiction to begin with, right? The high-priced Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power weren't game-changing enough to cover off an executive who spent a lot of money with not enough results. This is where everything is going right now. Perform or you're out, right? Because we can't afford to keep you on if you're not performing, if you're not bringing anything to the bottom line. What probably offset the failure of the Rings of Power was The Boys and Reacher and Jack Ryan. And I don't know, are people watching The Wheel of Time? I never read the books, but I've just heard that they've just really gayed everything up over there compared to the books. That's what I've heard. And again, we don't cover it because I'm like, it's not my wheelhouse, because I don't really care one way or the other. It's like, you know, Christopher Nolan's a problem. Okay, let's see here. Christopher Nolan might be a major reason behind Sulky's exit. Okay, Deadline notes that the controversy over not giving Roadhouse a theatrical release may have contributed to her dismissal, with this director voicing his frustration. It's worth noting that Nolan left Warner Brothers after they released their entire 2020 slate simultaneously in theaters and on streaming. He's now reportedly a contender to direct Amazon's new James Bond film. I would be okay with Christopher Nolan. I would be. I'd be okay with Christopher Nolan doing Bond. That could work. That could work. I mean, I like his movies quite a bit. But yeah, if she was going to make it the all new, all different, all diverse, you know, ladies of MI6 or whatever, that was not going to work. But she did it with Lord of the Rings, right? So yeah, I don't know, guys. You can only I think we are entering the age of reckoning, right? And maybe that reckoning is spelled with a W. Or we're coming out of the age of reckoning, I guess. I am seeing a lot of indicators that, at least at certain studios, failure will no longer be tolerated. DEI nonsense that leads to failure will no longer be tolerated. It is ending, for sure. So Hollywood Reporter has, let's see if they got anything here. They're talking about Amazon MGM Studios. They're promoting Beast Games and Roadhouse and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, Sulky's departure comes as the tech giant was in the thick of planning this year's annual Upfront event. So the Upfront's where they basically pimp all their upcoming shows. Please advertise on our shows. With plans to host an evening event at New York's Beacon Theater on May 12th, featuring a star-studded lineup of talent and news from Amazon's vast entertainment universe: Prime Video, Studios, Fire TV, Twitch. Yeah, forgot about Twitch. Wondery. I didn't realize that was them. Wondery's Amazon? Okay, that explains a lot. IMDb, Amazon Live, and Amazon Music. All the Amazon brands. Not to mention, the studio will be decamping to Vegas to go to theater owners, which is interesting. I never thought Amazon would be courting theater owners, if there are any left. They said in the past, studio chiefs and network presidents were titans of industry, star makers who could make or break careers and sculpt popular culture. Not anymore. It's all about tech. It's all about tech now. It's interesting, though. Yeah, they said that there's no fiefdoms here, and you got to perform, right? They said that following Sulky's exit, we've decided to flatten our leadership structure a bit and not fill the head of the studio's role, in line with Amazon's recent work to streamline reporting lines and accelerate decision-making. We feel this was the best direction for the studio, which will now operate as a distinct film and television studio, or they will have a distinct film and television studio side by side, right? It's a model that should be familiar to Netflix employees, which abandoned the top-down model of having a network or studio chief sign off on projects. and allow executives further down the org chart to greenlight their own films and shows. And that's part of the problem, though, too, is that there's like, that's why the Netflix stuff, in my opinion, is such a mixed bag, because you have different people signing off on their pet projects. And that's why some of the stuff can be like, you know, oh, it's 17th century London and look how diverse and inclusive it is, next to, you know, stuff that's like, you know, like One Piece or something, which is a really good, you know, adaptation of the anime. So it's like you've got different people signing off on different projects with different visions, I guess. But yeah, so I don't know, guys. It's kind of encouraging. If they could get Christopher Nolan for Bond, that might be a good sign. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.